7 years of college has really made Phil Simms a great speaker. It's obvious. I played 11 years. How long have you played, Phil? He's played 11. I'm 34 and he's 35, and I still can't figure out how he got through college when he did, but that's a common joke with the Giants, and I'm not going to press it any farther. I think Phil gets a little sensitive with it sometimes. I'd like to, before I even begin, thank Johnny Parker for coming down. He's the strength coach with the Giants, and quite honestly, if it hadn't been for Johnny being there with us in the strength and weight room, I wouldn't be here tonight because we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. He was a very big part of it. I'd like to say that nobody here tonight, none of the inductees, grew up any closer to this casino than I did. I'm from Lakemont, which even gives this more of a special touch for me. Obviously, my Uncle Dick is on the dais, and my family is here. And thank God for Bart Bartholomew, because without him, I wouldn't have been here tonight either. I'd like to say thank you to my family, all my brothers. When I tell you this, obviously, I've been the only one to make it to the Super Bowl as of yet. And I was very fortunate to have the support of all my brothers. None of you could have had a better group of brothers. There was never a tinge, and believe me when I say this, of jealousy or competition anywhere in the Benson family. A very wonderful family, and that's how we were all able to go and achieve what we've done, because everybody supports one another. For Phil Simms to come here tonight, I don't know how I can express to you how hard it is for a guy like him to come down here. He's a quarterback. He's a very humble quarterback. He's fooling you when he says people won't applaud for him in Giant country. He's only played the best Super Bowl ever played by a quarterback in the history of the game. Forget Joe Montana's game. Phil Simms' statistics were much better. A true story about Phil, in a positive note, we had our little ritual that we would always ride. We never took the team bus. Phil Simms, Carl Nelson, Chris Godfrey, they were offensive linemen, and myself, we would pow into a taxi cab and go over to the game because we all wanted to get ready early before everybody else. And Phil was always a member of that group. And we were riding to the Super Bowl, we were riding over to the Rose Bowl, and we're sitting in the taxi cab going over. And I'm watching Phil, and he had bought himself a pair of the California shades when he got out there, first thing he did. And he's sitting in the front seat of the car. And I said, Phil? And he just wouldn't shut up. I mean, he was driving me crazy the whole way over in the cab. But I was nervous. I just wanted the cab to pull over. I needed to use a bathroom. That's how excited I was about this whole thing. And he turned around, he said, are you nervous? And I said, yes, I'm nervous. He said, well, let me tell you something, buddy. He said, you give me time today. And he said, I'll rip him apart. And he meant it, and he did. And that's the type of person he is. He doesn't say a lot, but when he says something, he means it. And he's also one of the best friends that I've ever had, ever. And I want to thank him for coming tonight. Thank you, Phil. Last night at the Calvin House, a young lady came up to me and said, we would like to thank you for everything that you've done for this area. Well, I'd like to take this time to say thank you for everything you've done for me, because I am just as proud of you as you are of me. Thank you. When I'm in New Jersey, wherever I am, I always tell people about the type of values that I had growing up here in this area. I had some wonderful people working with me. Milford Pittman, I've got to mention the Labriolas, the Roosnecks, the Stroms, people like that, and I'm sure I left some people out, and please don't be offended. But there were a lot of people in this area that really pitched in to help me do everything that I've had an opportunity to do. Some of those members are here tonight. Some of them are family members that have come a long way to see me be inducted tonight and I would like to thank them as well. My wife, Lisa, I would like to thank her for the terror that I've put her through in 9 years or 11 years of professional football. I was the type of person, I think offensive linemen have these personalities that they're never happy unless they're miserable. They feel that if they're happy and things are going well, they're going to get 4 sacks that afternoon. So they can't allow themselves to be happy or something bad will happen. And Lisa will tell you on many occasions that I didn't even speak to her. I just sat in front of the projector running it back and forth, just spellbound with the moves of Dexter Manley or Richard Dent or whomever else that I was going to be playing in that upcoming week. Obviously, I spoke about my grandfather. He couldn't be here tonight, and my grandmother couldn't. Those of you who knew them, that's obviously they passed away a few years back. And that's the only thing that was never complete in my career, was the fact that he couldn't see me in a Super Bowl. That was very important to me, and he's not here tonight, and I'd just like to thank him anyway for all the support that he gave me. I would like to thank you again. It's been wonderful being back with everybody. Steve, I think you're doing a wonderful thing here. This area has been very humble to itself as well. There are a lot of tremendous athletes here to be proud of, and I'm just proud to be a member of that group. Thank you very much.